Welcome to the bold analysis. If by any chance you had some hopes that we were finally going to get the cheap unga, or rather the price of unga is going to drop, then I think what I'm going to share with you here is going to heartbreak you. And this is because it is a depiction, or rather it's an explanation on how the UD administration is spiraling about lowering the cost of unga. There are many explanations that have been given about this issue. But before I delve into those explanations, I want us to start from this story. Millers traders have 7 days to prove importation of maize flour, maize and rice. That is Agriculture CS Mythical Inturi has millers and grain importers, has told millers and grain importers who are issued with duty-free licenses and have 7 days to prove they have started the importation of maize, flour and rice. I ask a question. Is it about millers proving they're importing maize, or government can even ascertain whether people are importing or not? So, I think Mythical Inturi in a recent interview explained that what they did, they removed the taxes by giving the licenses so that people would import the grains duty-free, and that by scrapping the importation tax, that would then lower the price of unga in the market. Since they would market, they would actually import and they would not pay tax. So that reprieve, or rather that reduction in the cost is going to translate to a cost reduction in the final commodity to the retailers. And I remember challenging and saying, even if you are, and there is 2 millers here, traders who are subscribers in this channel. This is what explanation I got, and I think I wanted to get this. This is what he told me. That if you remove the tax and include all the other costs of value addition, that is the grinding and the logistics, moving it from one point to the other, and even the cost of the store, the go down, where it is being kept, that maize, that flour cannot retail below 210. So it's a big lie to say that if you remove tax, then you import, the maize price can drop from the flour, the price of unga can drop from 230 to 150. The 80 shillings gap is just too large, too much. It cannot drop by that amount. But Mythical Inturi was explaining that that is it. And let me just explain, and let me just tell you something here. If you remember the press briefing where government spokesperson Hussein Mohammed was explaining that the price of unga is dropping, but it is bit by bit depending with the millers. So that UMI, the people behind, the millers behind UMI, allegedly, government said they had imported duty-free maize, and that was the first batch that arrived in the first week of April. And because they were selling that duty-free maize, that is why the price was down. But apart from the political rallies and social media pages, I think we are all in agreement that me and you have not found that unga in the shelves, be it in the supermarket or even to these other retailers. And even supermarkets are retailers. And so, what exactly is going on here? Do you want to tell me that Linturi giving orders to the millers to show the value, whether they are importing, themselves they had complained that millers, despite of them getting the license, the millers had refused to import the maize simply because of what Rigathi Gachagua confessed live on TV, that there was no cheap maize all over the world. So even if there is a tax reprieve from this country, but still the cost of buying that maize from the other country is high. And so that means that that tax relief is inconsequential as far as the cost implication is concerned. So, I'm telling you, this is what I can call as saving the face. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say here and repeat that unless we roll our sleeves and work for Kenyans, we are not going to achieve those objectives. We cannot be just spiraling around. We have problems, but we are investing a lot of effort and money trying to manage the public expectations. It will reach a time when then it's plateau. You cannot lie throughout 5 years that the price of unga will drop without it being dropping. If people are going to the shelves and they're not finding that 150 shillings Umi brand, and you keep on repeating that every week that the price of unga has dropped, surely, don't you think it will reach a point where people ask you, now come down from that car, let's go to that supermarket, let's go and buy that unga, we see if it is there. And so that is the reality of what exactly we are talking about. Now, this is it. There is that which is happening. Why the cost of, in fact, the unga politics, the maize politics cannot be solved. Intentionally, it will not be solved, and it cannot be solved. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. I want to say thank you very much for those who are supporting us from every part of the country. Asanteni sana, those who are sharing our videos to your friends and your peers. I don't take it for granted. We built this brand together because of you. And by as you realize, I've gotten back my glasses. Yes, I was trying to get the same lenses, and I've got them and the same frame. So after struggling na kupanguza much, at least now I'm back to it. Now, this is it. Ruto is creating a blame narrative around the Unga pledge. And technically they've realized the millers don't have a voice. They're not speaking in media. And no one is trusting them. So after promising that the price of Unga is going to be dropped, it was promised not with a premise of how it was going to be done, but it was promised on a political premise. It was a political promise that, look here, we want people not to go to the street, we are going to lower the price of unga. But there was no framework on how that was going to be effected. And since they got into that, they've decided that yes, maybe the price of unga is not dropping, and what we want to do, we want to tell Kenyans that mailers are the problem. And that's why I say, you can't keep on shifting the problem one after the other. This day it was that farmers have refused to give the maize. And so that's why we have a scarcity. Now this time around we're going to report it, we're going to import maize from abroad and it's coming. Now it's coming, kidogo kidogo we're now saying millers have refused to import it. We cannot spiral around the same problem, just changing who to blame today and who to blame tomorrow. The next day we shall start blaming the supermarkets that okay, the maize was released, the unga is released, but the supermarkets are holding it. You know, we will even blame the consumer that maybe Kenyans have refused to buy it. So I think it's about time we roll our sleeves and work if we mean well for it. The challenge I need to repeat is been people are not interested in the solutions. The other second thing is this. The millers are being blamed that some of them imported the maize and tried to re-export to neighboring countries. What does that tell you? If someone wants to re-export that maize, maybe he's bringing it here duty-free, kishapata tax-free, and I smuggle and I peleka nje. And Waziri is saying that those who have been intercepted, and a multi-agency team was deployed, I think, at the border points to intercept that. And what that tells me is this. We have unpredictable tax regime, and those people who are importing, they're not importing it as charity, they're into business. And people are not seeing profits even after bringing it here. It's because of we have highly punitive taxes within our border here, inside the country, that is actually suffocating the supply chain. We may talk of duty free, but ikishaingia hapa, there are a lot of cost implications that come with it. And that is why that is happening. But clearly, the maize cartels have zimeshinda William Ruto to dismantle. And my guess is because part of those people we call cartels are actually the politicians. It's not easy for a trader to smuggle, to import, to export, to re-export. It needs a deeper connection. And this crisis, people have turned it into an opportunity to make money. But the big thing is this. We wanted to import here so that we spin with the supply-demand curve with an understanding that when we have surplus here, the prices will go down. But we are forgetting the same millers we are asking to import maize from abroad are the same millers that are buying maize from the farmers. So what's going on? The millers are just there as people who are just agents. They outweigh. Instead of going to buy abroad, why don't I buy from the farmer here? So what's happening? They don't want to go and buy out. They are buying from the farmers. And I can tell you, William Ruto, there is something that needs dialogue. Then, leave alone even the politics of Azimio and so. You need to have dialogue with these sector holders, shareholders. Now, these are the shareholders. As regards speaking about other shareholders, now these are the shareholders that government should actually consider sitting down with so that they can fix. Otherwise, chest thumping, you're not going to solve the